Depression, something that's commonly viewed as completely self-inflicted, but that's absolutely not the case. Depression is viewed as commonly just something that you go through every day. It's an everyday occurrence. Get over it. But it's not just that simple. Depression is a mental illness that involves and affects your everyday activities, especially stuff you're confident about, volleyball, track, any kind of sports, any daily activity, especially extracurriculars. It really bogs you down and it really just throws you for a loop constantly, every day. You never know when you're going to pick yourself back up. And that's something that's really hard for everybody, especially the people with severe or mild depression. There's a lot of therapies that help and will benefit you in the future. One of those therapies that I will tell you about today is ECT, also known as electroconvulsive therapy. ECT is where you have controlled seizures in the brain to get rid of your depressive symptoms. Seems like a good idea, right? You're wrong. This is most commonly used in Europe, and although it looks like a pretty good therapy, this therapy doesn't last for a long time. This therapy is something that gives you short-term happiness, but also causes severe memory loss. Would you like a controlled seizure in the brain that only gives you happiness for about 20 days? Not something I would want. Another one is CBT. This is commonly used throughout all of any type of therapy to relieve your depressive symptoms. This one gives you long-term happiness, and this is one of the things that is mostly recommended by any doctor you'll talk to. Any doctor will tell you CBT is something that they are confident works. 99.9% of all of these things relate back to CBT and how it was benefit you. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, which means that your thoughts and your emotions and your actions all play into one. Everything goes towards another. And it's really important because with depression, you never know what's going to happen and you make impulsive decisions quite often. Then we look at the medicines. Medication is typically the last resort. When it comes to medications, not all people are confident about taking them, and it makes you really insecure about taking them. But when you look at the benefits of the medications and making you happier, it looks like a pretty good outcome. There's many different types, except for here today, I'm going to tell you about fluoxetine, aka Prozac, Zoloft, and Lexapro. Many people are commonly on these medications only because they're proven to work. But there's a lot of side effects that come with medications, especially suicidal ideation. There's just so many that it causes a lot of issues. But if your body can't metabolize these, then we got to find another solution. There is a genetic test around the world that will help find out what your body can and cannot metabolize. But commonly, your body can metabolize Prozac, Zoloft, or Lexapro. Now let's look at the brain. Our brains have a physical change when it comes to depression. People don't commonly think that it changes, but the gray matter in the brain actually shrinks due to depression. The images I have provided for you today show you the common and the physical change that actually happens. A lot of people will tell you these are myths. People will tell you science isn't telling you the right things. This is science. This is the medical proof for you that tells you that this is real. Depression is a real thing. And especially in teens in our age, this is a real thing. This is a common issue that our brains are physically shrinking and it's damaging our cerebral cortex of the brain. But people won't believe you until you have proof. Here's my proof. Now, we're going to dive into the myths people will tell you about depression. These are my favorites. Depression will only affect women. That's a lie. Depression actually affects men a lot more than it affects women. But men are too insecure because we're proved that men are supposed to be stronger than women emotionally. Mentally, physically, men are supposed to be more superior than you. That's wrong. Men battle depression every day. Mostly, it happens worse. Suicide rate with men is actually a lot higher than women. And I think that this is something that needs to be seen by the public. Another one of my absolute favorites is that depression is just all in your head. Just get over it. That's wrong. Depression is not all in your head. It affects your everyday physical activity. It affects everything. Overeating, not overeating, oversleeping. It is everything Depression brings you down in every way, shape, and form. Depression will make sure that you are nothing, but you have to overcome it. But that's what people don't see. People just think it's just in your head. It's a real mental illness. That's something that needs to be brought to the public's attention. But nobody will tell you that. Everybody will just tell you that it's just in your head. Just get over it. This is a battle that teens face every day. It's not just something in your head. When people come to you and they tell you that they have depression, it's important that you hear and you know the facts to help them. I'm really glad everybody sat through and listened to this today. It means a lot. And the next time you hear about somebody with depression, have some empathy and really understand what they're going through, because it's really a mental illness that really needs to be seen.